Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stardom Review, a bi-weekly, temporarily weekly review where Andre and myself review the all-female wrestling amazing promotion known as Stardom. I'm your co-host, Melball. That is your Andre. Andre, how are we doing today?
I am doing absolutely phenomenal. It's a bit, the day we're recording is a little bit of a bittersweet day for me, but getting to be here with you, and getting to talk about what we're going to talk about, I am extremely happy to be here.
Oh, yeah, we have got some incredible wrestling to review. We've got our second part of the Goddess of Stardom Tournament that we are talking about. And man, we only have, I think, two nights that we need to talk about.
2 nights. So there's nights 5 and 6 of the tournament overall, and they are the November 12th and 13th.
And just to put it out there, this Melball messed up and did not pay attention to the Stardom website. So when the 13th actually went up, I only saw the first three matches that went up there. So I am actually a little uneducated for this episode. The last 2 matches I'm going to defer to Andre for his opinion. I mean, the workers are certainly high up there on my favorites list there, so I have a lot of high expectations and spoilers for those 2 matches. But Andre, without further ado, let's get in tonight.
Before we get to that, I want to get to our sponsor, Rogue Energy. You can scan the QR code down in the bottom right-hand corner there on the screen and use the code that's scrolling on the bottom, OLE Pods, for 10% off your order, thanks to our good friends over at our local establishment who will be helping, who are our hosts for our Twitch streams, which will be coming up Sunday morning at 3 a.m. But I got my Mina Shaker Carwa special, as I like to call it, which I've got the Rogue Energy Caramel Shake in. And I mixed it with milk, how it's supposed to be milk.
Unlike this Melball, who mixed the cookies and cream with water. But it still tasted like I was drinking an Oreo.
Tastes so good. Like this caramel, this chocolate caramel. I think it's chocolate caramel or something. But
salted caramel.
Salted caramel. Absolutely phenomenal. Like I love it. I love it. But thank you to Rogue Energy
series as well as a pre-workout series or an energy series. Andre and I have both tried the blood orange one. It tastes like you're eating fruit. It is amazing. Highly recommend.
Yeah, and so thank you very much, Rogue Energy, for sponsoring us and our OLE Pods. So we are going to get into the Goddess of Stardom Tag League Tournament, where we are going to start on night number 5, and it is going to the November 12th show. And the first match on the docket is going to be Wingori, the team of Hanan and Saida from Stars, taking on the team of My Hemi, which is Himika and Micah from Donna Del Mundo. Right? Yeah, Donna. I'm kidding. I do it.
Correct. That's why they do the fist thing.
Yeah, I thought this was a very fun match. Everybody knows my love for Saida. Since the first time I watched her during the Goddess Tag League or the 5-star Grand Prix, I fell in love with this girl. I think she's absolutely phenomenal. And her team with Hanan, I think they are so much fun. They have one of my favorite tag team moves of all time now, the piggyback splash, as I like to call it, where Hanan jumps on Saida's back and then they splash their opponent. I absolutely love it. I adore this tag team, but in the end, My Hemi hits a double clothesline, and then Himeka gets the torture rack into a sit-out facebuster, followed by a last ride stack powerbomb to Saida, and My Hemi picks up the win.
And I just want to say straight out in the beginning, the beginning of this match was just such an incredible start for both Micah and Hanan. We've been talking to Hanan. She was the Future of Stardom's champion, recently losing that to Ami Sourei. But man, Hanan is such a natural performer and entertainer. You can see it by the picture. Her smile is just absolutely contagious, but her ability to work in that ring, it's just the almost boundless talent that she has is very, very evident. But her go between with Micah, where they were just reversing, hold, reversing, very technical, very almost, I would say, almost fighter-esque as the beginning of a UFC fight. I really enjoyed it. But then to follow it up with Micah and Ida doing the power thing afterwards, I love this match. This was a really good match. Very good showing for all four of these women. And this isn't really a loss for Hanan and Saida because they really did show up and take on two of the strongest girls, former Goddess of Stardom champions themselves. They put up a really good fight.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad loss that Ida and Hanan can take in this tournament. I don't think to anybody, because them losing is not a bad thing for them. They are both very young in their careers. Hanan, I think she's 18. Ida's 25, but they're both very in the first year or two of their careers. So they're both still very young in their careers. So at this point in their careers, taking these losses in these tag matches doesn't hurt them because they come out, they have great showings, and they show why they should be in there with the people they are in there with.
100%.
So we're going to move on to the next match in the Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Tournament, and that is in another match in the Blue Goddess division. That is O2 Lines, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki from Queen's Quest taking on BMI 2000, Natsuko Tora, and Natsuruka from Oedo Tai. Again, BMI, this is their dominance they've been showing since the loss on their first night by disqualification. They've been showing dominance in every match. The power, the just I'm gonna smash you in the face kind of style that both these women have, but nothing to take back from Azumi, or especially, I will say this, Miyu Amasaki in this match, I thought did so well in how she was being beaten down and how her comebacks were phenomenal in here. How this girl makes a comeback, I think she's got, and it's not his level, but she's got inklings of Shawn Michaels level comebacks. I think as she keeps going, I think she has that kind of ability to be that kind of dramatic person for the comeback. And I am really, she's not there yet. I'm not saying that, but I think she has that ability. And I look forward to seeing this girl go far. But the end of this match comes. BMI, it's a signature for them now. Raka hits a tree slam. Tora hits the essentially an FU. It's essentially an FU, and then Raka hits the splash off the top, and then Tora hits the swanton bomb, and they get the win. Every time they've hit this, they have won.
And it's very odd to see such organization coming out of such a House of Torture-esque faction.
I'm pulling back from as much as I'm going to compare House of Torture because I actually enjoy all these teams in the ring for the most part. Even the one team, Fuki and Freaking Death and Saki, who I'm not as big of fans of as a team, I still like them more. I still rather watch them wrestle than watch anything to do with House Torture outside a show.
As I was saying, they're kind of almost moving towards the Suzuki Guten thing now with the pole. But you know who has that pole? It's your favorite Doki. So that being said, the beginning of this match was very, again, Oedo Tai, very House of Torture-esque with Ruaka and Tora hitting the ring, doing their thing. Yeah, look at us. Yay, we're here. And then sneaking out of the ring, limping back to the curtain. And as Azumi and Miyu Amasaki are coming through the curtain, jumping them, beating them up. Again, this is where that beatdown on Miyu really, really started. What I really did like was, I think this was the first time that you and I have personally seen the ref get a little defiant with Oedo Tai, in that he refused to do some counts at some point, much how we've seen in particular Umino Red Shoes in NJPW, where when Ruaka was choking, Miyu while she was pinning her, the ref refused
So
to count.
unlike the hatred I have, yeah.
Agree with. I prefer and I like. I know we disagree on what the officials do or don't do. I personally like it because it shows that the ref isn't just going to be pushed around by these girls. And let's be honest, Tora and Ruaka, really good pushers. Really, yeah. I would say they're shovers.
I'm going to agree with you on that point because unlike Marty Asami's incredible unprofessionalism and not flowing from one match to another and just making up his own rules as he goes, he did the right thing because she was choking as she was pinning. He did the right thing. You don't chokes are illegal. You don't get to choke people while you pin them. Simple as that. I'm with the ref on that one.
I do have a lot of notes on this one, but I do want to say my favorite spot of this was when Azumi finally did get the pin from Miyu and hit the ring, ended up having to deal with the double team from BMI 2000, where Azumi ends up taking down Ruaka. And when Natsuko Tora tries to come at her, Azumi ends up actually bouncing her off the ropes and arm dragging her onto Ruaka, which then pops up Ruaka. Tora also gets up, and Azumi is able to follow that up with a double drop kick, and then just the kip up afterwards was a very much an FU. Like, it was just very much just the style, the grace, the almost like I'm better than you attitude that she had as she came up from that kip up. I was like, that was absolute perfection. That was my favorite spot of this entire match.
Yeah, honestly, it was one of the two matches I was looking at picking as my big pick for the night. But my big pick is next. It is the third match in the Blue Goddess division on night number 5, and that is the New Era's Amy Saray and Mirai from God's Eye taking on Waka Wild, the finally renamed Waka Wild. Waka Tsukiyama and Saki from Skiyama from Cosmic Angels / Colors, because you got to represent colors for Saki. And yeah, this is my pick for the night. I am firmly behind Amy Saray and Mirai. I love these two. I think they are probably the best, other than maybe Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. They are the team that I think has the best synergy of any tag team in this tournament, in my personal opinion. There's some other great teams that have great synergy, but I think the way they do everything together and the way they hit the power both these women have, the smoothness that both these women do outside of one spot in this match is great. But the other one I got to really shout out with this match is Waka. How do you say it? I can never say it right. Skiyama. It's like the T is TSU. Yeah, well, then it should be Tsukiyama, but whatever.
Like, the dog Shih Tzu. It's the same kind.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Waka Skiyama.
Yeah.
She again is another one like Saya Ida, like Hanan, who is younger in her career. She's early. She's only been around a little while. And when Mina was announced to be pulled out, I was very disappointed because again, I'm a big Mina Shirakawa fan. I am very happy with her replacement of Waka. I think Waka has really come into this tournament and really made it her, really established herself as part of her team. And she's not the level of Amina Shirakawa, but is showing that she can step in to be part of this team and not disappoint people. Not that she would, but you know what I mean. I can understand why some people would be disappointed. And I think she is absolutely great stuff. But there is one spot in this that looked absolutely kind of gross almost in a way.
Yeah.
Mirai goes and does it, grabs her and does an overhead throw, but she kind of just went back with it quick, and Waka landed straight on her face. It's at about the 640 mark, and at the match, and it's just like, holy moly. Like or I saw the video on Stardom World is at 6:40, but holy moly, so maybe about 2 minutes into the match, I was worried for the girl for a second. She got right back up, so I was like, okay, she's fine. But then, like, there was one spot, Amy and Mariah were just dual chopping the heck out of Waka, and then hit her with this huge double clothesline. Like, dang. But like Waka, like she is the hip attacks I love. Like, just she's so good. She's good at them. And you gotta remember,
reminiscent of Gucci.
And Mina Shirakawa, who likes her hip attacks too. So bringing Waka in, you still get the hip attacks, man. And I thought they were great. And I love that she does the hip attack into the ropes to the head. I absolutely loved it. But like Mariah, there was a spot where she actually got a Kimura in and then did a full rollback through and pulled the Kimura in tighter. Like it was like a beautifully transitioned situation that looked really, really good. And it actually required Saki to come in and break it up. But yeah, and Saki got a beautiful brainbuster in this, though. And nothing to take away Saki, but Waka was in a majority of this match, getting beat up and fighting back. But yeah, Mariah got this beautiful, right towards the end, she hits this beautiful like wheelbarrow into a half Nelson slam, like just absolutely picture perfect. It's the smoothness of what they do is so good. In the end, Mariah does an airplane spin into what she calls the Miramare shock. For any North American audience that knows Chris Sabin's cradle shock, same move. And she picks up the win on Waka. And dude, I gushed over this match. I absolutely love this match.
This was a fun one. And as I mentioned before, that the mother-daughter kind of feel dynamic between Waka and Saki, even more evident in this one. Again, her trying to do Waka trying to do a crossbody into Ami. Ami catches her, and then Saki following it up with just a big boot to just help Waka get her over there. It was very fun. Even her just picking up Waka and throwing her a couple times into a drop kick. It was just really, really sweet dynamic to see, but it also adds something different to what we're seeing, because we have a lot of teams like the New Eras, who like Miami, like BMI 2000, who are just these powerhouse teams who work so well together. It's refreshing to see this still work together mentality, but like in a different kind of way to entertain. I felt it really added to the match. You actually mentioned pretty much almost everything.
Sorry, I really loved it. I had so much to say. I really had a lot to say. I'm sorry. I
did really like the hip attacks also. I did note they're ineffective at times, but super, super cute. What I really did like also was when Saki and Waka were actually able to get their stereo submissions going, where Saki had my favorite move, that dingle dangle going on there, while Waka had Mirai.
I had that written down too. Yeah, because Waka was sitting on the dangle. Yeah, because Saki had that dingle, the hanging Billy Goat's curse, and Waka's sitting on the back with I think it was who did she sitting on? She's on.
Figure out what it was. That's why I didn't write it down.
Yeah, but she had the arms pulled back, but she literally had the arms pulled back so far that they crossed behind Mariah's back.
Yeah, speaks to the flexibility of both of these women. But that Ami Sourei is so tall. In comparison to Saki, because I believe she's almost a head taller than Saki. Saki is strong enough that she's able.
And Saki's not short either.
No,
you gotta remember that.
But she's taller. Ami is quite a bit taller than Saki in comparison. So I do find that doing something like the dingle dangle on someone who's taller than you will result in them having their face kind of dragged along the mat. This was not the case. Saki shrugging it up really, really well. Ami never touched the ground until she released her, which was usually her throwing her on her face.
I will never not love the name the dingle dangle.
Will for always be the dingle dangle.
I will always describe it as a hanging billiard goat's curse, and then you'll call it the dangle dangle just for clarification for people. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal.
It's less of a mouthful than what you said.
It's a hanging billiard goat's curse. What's the mouthful about that?
Dingle dangle.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next section of the Goddess Tag Team Tournament. It was in the Red Goddess division. We have the debut match of Peach Rock. This is their first match of the tournament, and we're gonna have something to say about that in a little bit here. It's Mayu Utami and Momo Kogo from Stars taking on My Fair Ladies, Lady C, and Mai Sakurai from Queen's Quest and Donna Del Mundo, respectively. This again, I thought, compared to the first match that they had, My Fair Lady has been working well together. That first one was a giant mess. Don't know what happened, but the second match, this one, they've been doing very well. They're starting to do it. I think they found their groove. They're doing very well together. I thought Lady C, it's her power. It's the ability to dominate with her size, and that choke slam she does when she picked up Mayu in this match and smashed her down to the mat. Holy moly. But the end of this match,
that helicopter spin or that airplane spin that she did.
Yeah, it's just the power coming off of Lady C. The Cesaro spin. Yeah, dude, like Cesaro spins, but this girl just started going so quickly. You could see it. She had to let go and she fell over, and you could see her when she was trying to get up to go for the pin. She was having trouble moving because she was so dizzy. Like, oh my god, it was.
Hey.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then there was like a beautiful spot where Momo and Mayu hit a double 619, which was very nice. But in the end, Mayu got the Yakuza kick to Lady C and the Dununpa, which is the crucifix bomb, to get Peach Rock the win and their first 2 points of the tournament and keeping My Fair Lady at 0.
I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of expect this kind of result, not just because My Fair Lady is the new team and arguably the mismatched team in this tournament, but Mayu Iwatani, we both know we're going to be seeing her facing Kairi tomorrow.
But no, that was 2 days ago.
24 hours.
Yeah, that's 3 days ago from what it's 2 hours, 2 days from when we're recording. It's 3 days ago from when this airs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
she's going to be facing Kairi for the IWGP Women's Championship. I did not expect her to go into that kind of match having any kind of loss. I definitely think that she's going to be doing her absolute best and working her absolute hardest, and she absolutely did in this match. There was a spot at the beginning where I really appreciated the camaraderie between Stars and Peach Rock with Momo and Mayu, where they were just coming off the ropes, doing their double stomps, doing their tag moves. It was very, again, LIJ reminiscent, where there was zero communication happening and they were just doing what it was that they needed to do. I really appreciated just seeing that because as I had mentioned before, with Mai Sakurai, she didn't really seem to get that same camaraderie when she was with, for example, Cosmic Angels versus now when she's in Donna Del Mondo. So it's very interesting to see how the dynamic of the teams and even the women individually can change based kind of on of their teams. But this was a fun match, and as you had mentioned, this is one of the matches where we really did see that kind of starting of unification. I would almost say the acceptance of Mai Sakurai and Lady C, that they have to be teaming together, and if they want to pick up wins, they have to work together.
Yeah, I really thought this was a great fun match, and I liked seeing Peach Rock finally get into this tournament because I've been a big fan of Mayu Iwatani for years from her time over in when she was working with ROH as the ROH Women's Champion and everything. So it was a very good match. But we're going to move on to the next match of the evening, and it's in the Red Goddess division. Actually, so there was 2 matches in between the last one and this one, but they were it was one match. It was a non-tournament 3-way, but we're just going to stick to the tag league matches.
Ones,
the Goddess tag league matches, and this one featured Mafia Bellas, Giulia and Thekla from Donna Del Mondo taking on We Love Tokyo Sports, Sakakishima, and Freaking Death from Oedo Tai.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got much on here because I'll admit this match really didn't bring me in. I'm a big Giulia fan.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows I've been talking about it since I first saw her wrestle. It wasn't a bad match. Maybe it was where I was watching these matches. It just didn't capture me. I think it was that point. It was good. It was a enjoyable match overall. Freaking Death doesn't really do much for me. She's creepy as hell, and they're good. She's a good wrestler. It just doesn't do much for me. Same with Sakakishima. Again, I haven't really gotten behind her too much. The match was good overall. Finish came when Giulia got Saki into the SDF. Thekla put Fuki into the Freaking Death into the sharpshooter or something of that sort, and then Giulia transitioned the STF into a STF twister. Like if anybody knows the MMA move, a twister where you grab and you pull them around your body while holding them down below. She had the STF lock on the legs and then was pulling her around and got the tap out, which is called the Stealth Viper, and gets the tap out for the win. And Afia Bella moves on with more points, man.
Mm-hmm. I do have to agree that I think it was based on where it was on the card that kind of made this match a little bit, I would not say underwhelming, but like it just felt a little bit slower in comparison. If it was maybe switched with the last one, I feel like maybe the energy could have been a little different in comparison. This was a little bit more of a comedy match for me. Obviously, where the clown is involved, it's going to be a little bit more funny. But what I will say is that I did really appreciate the tantrums that Fuki-ken was having throughout the match, where if she was doing like when her death, Fuki-ken death thing was being thwarted by Giulia, she went to the corner and started kicking the pad, like, why aren't you just letting me kick you in the face? You know, I really appreciated it. It kind of gave me a giggle, of which at that time I kind of needed. But yeah, I do. And again, I have to shout out Thekla because, man, just the speed, the flexibility, and the power that she has for being how compact that she is. I feel like this girl is like 0% anything but muscle. She's got to be 100% muscle, doing that bridge, taking it forward, coming up, and then just turning it into a spear on Saki. Just such an incredible talent. I absolutely love this woman. If you're new to Stardom, I highly recommend going back earlier in the year, checking out all of her high-speed matches, particularly with Starlight Kid. Oh, man, you're in for a treat. But yeah, I have to agree with what it is that you said, Andre. This match wasn't the funnest for me. I still enjoyed it, but it definitely felt maybe misplaced in the card.
Yeah, I think I was just kind of a little... I'd watched a lot at that point, and I think it suffered the same way. I think when we talked about the November 5th show from New Japan, where Okada and
the tag match,
tag match, that it was just where its placement is, and it just kind of where this one kind of let me mellow out so that I could really enjoy this main event.
Oh yes.
So we are going to get there, and this is Mel's pick on this on the. Yeah, the road is Mel's pick.
Peach Rock and Mai Sakurai, we just talked about. My pick was the main event, which
I hit the wrong button.
No, that's okay. We got her. So the main event here was my pick, my favorite active female wrestler right now, Utami Hayashishita, with her teammate Saya Kamitani, versus Black Desire, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid. Holy heckin' crap is like, the opening sequence between Starlight Kid and Kamitani doing what everyone here would know as a typical cruiserweight spot, where they're going through that reversal, endless reversals. Too many for me to start to mention. It was impressive. It was fun. It showed off both women and their skills. The double team on Kamitani with Starlight Kid putting her in the camel clutch and Momo coming in and you could tell Kamitani was struggling in that as it was, because Starlight Kid pulls her up into the camel clutch, keeps her in that for a bit, throws her down, Kamitani thinking that the move is done and now she's just eating the mat. She eats the mat, and then when she comes back up, Starlight grabs the hair and just keeps her there. And very, very mean. That was when Momo came in and fed her that kick to right across the boobies. That does not feel nice in any way, shape, or form in any time. But again, the same ref from earlier with the match with BMI 2000, not allowing Momo to do the choke pin on Kamitani. Again, I got to appreciate that, because for all the bull crap that they let Oedo Tai usually do in front of them, it was nice to see them actually taking some charge and saying, no, nay.
Yeah.
When Utami finally got that tag from Kamitani, gets in there, she became a one-woman wrecking crew. She's an utter tank. I absolutely love this woman because you wouldn't really expect it. You do look at her and say, okay, she's a little thicker than some of the other girls, but that doesn't mean she's going to be powerful. It absolutely means she's powerful. Have you seen those legs? Those are just pure power in themselves. She did get double teamed right away. However, she is able to overpower Starlight Kid and escape from her grasp as they were trying to whip her. Therefore, ending up grabbing Momo, allowing Momo to throw Utami into Starlight Kid, grabbing her to do a fireman's carry, and then actually Hiromo style fireman's carrying Starlight Kid into Momo into the corner was just so impressive. It really speaks to her power. But then following it up still with an elbow and then a double drop kick on Momo and Starlight Kid. She just, again, one woman wrecking crew, cleared the ring. It was so impressive. Then we got round 2 of Starlight Kid and Kamitani, and man, this was where they showed off the moves that they're capable of doing. I did feel that part of the match, though, is goes to what I've mentioned about Kamitani in the past, where she does almost get that line of over animation in what it is that she's doing with her moves. However, she is such a good performer and entertainer that she almost sometimes recognizes when that's happening and is able to reel it back in, which is exactly what she did in this match. Utami, I have Seiya and Utami worked Momo so hard at the end of this match. Again, Utami, absolute tank. Starlight Kid and Momo also working very, very well and smoothly together. We're able to start to break down Utami and almost try to remove her towards the end of the match. Kamitani, however, super, super effective. Super, super good. And then last thing I'm going to say is the dropkick assist from Kamitani that feeds Momo into the German by Utami that ultimately leads to Utami setting up Momo for her finish, that beautiful spinning razor's edge.
High jump
just
bomb,
amazing. That picks up those 2 points for Utami and Kamitani over Black Desire. Man, what a main event.
Yeah, I absolutely phenomenal. Like, just some of the beauty in this match is insanity. Like Momo got the crossface chicken wing on Utami, but then as she's got it, she literally lets it go and rolls out of the way so that Starlight Kid can come off the top with a spinning frog splash. I was just like, holy crap! It just I absolutely adored it. And then Momo hit her big finisher, the Peach Thunder, which is the variation of the Tombstone. But dang, it was good. But like, yeah, overall, like I think all these women absolutely killed it in this match. But then the one thing I want to note is after the match, Starlight Kid was kind of getting into the face of Saya Kamitani, indicating she wants a shot at the white belt, which she will be Saya's defend. We're recording before the weekend, but is supposed to be defending on actually the Saturday against Kyrie. So we'll see who comes out of that, and maybe Starlight Kid gets a shot at whoever wins that match.
Or maybe Kairi Sane comes in as the Wonder of Stardom champion and leaves the historic crossover as a double champ. Who knows?
We don't know.
We really don't.
We really don't. And you guys will know because it's already happened when you're seeing this. But we don't know as we're recording this on the Friday before.
Surprise or not surprise?
So before we get on to the next night of the November 13th show, they did not have a graphic out. They only put out a graphic for after the November 13th show. But I want to quickly go over the standings. Red Goddess Division, Mafia Bella with 6 points. Aphrodite with 4 points. Karate Brave with 3 points. Peatrock, We Love Tokyo Sports, Meltier, all with 2 points. Black Desire still with only 1 point due to their draw. And My Fair Lady with 0, still winless with 0 points. And in the Blue Goddess Division, you have the team of BMI 2000 with alone on top with 6 points. Then you have My Hemi and FWC with 4 points each. Then you have 7 Up and the New Eras with 3 points each. Waka Wild with 2 points, O2 Line with 2 points, and Wingori with 0 points after night number 5. I think I got it all.
I think so.
Boom. And we are going to move on to night number 6, where we are going to be bringing up 5 absolutely wonderful matches in the Goddesses of Stardom Tag Team Tournament. And the first match of the night is Mel's pick of the 3 of the 5 matches she did get to see on this card.
Yes.
It is Meltier, the team of Natsupoi and Tam Nakano from Cosmic Angels, taking on Black Desire, who we literally just talked about, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid from Oedo Tai.
What a start to this match. Oedo Tai really liking to bring those unique starts and unique entertainment to their matches, dragging Natsupoi and Tam Nakano from the back on their entrance, not giving the crowd the opportunity to see these beautiful women come out in their tiaras and their lip syncing and their beautiful costumes. I digress. Tam fought back as hard as she could as Natsupoi was being kind of taken apart on the outside by Starlight Kid. This match was a bit of a struggle for Team Meltier to kind of gain an upper hand on it after the chaos of the beginning of this match. She was able, she being Tam Nakano, was able to fight back successfully on the double team to get Natsupoi into the match. The spot where Natsupoi goes to drop Momo in the corner and Momo just walks away. It really gave me some Samoa Joe vibes. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I very much thought that she's just like, I don't care, and just walked away. I was just like, that's badass.
Again, the Samoa Joe attitude there, where after walking away, she jumps onto the corner and feeds Natsupoi a dropkick of her own, Natsupoi eating all of it.
Very much
and then pulling out the legs too from Natsupoi. Just an amazing, fun match, especially the high speed sequence that happened between Natsupoi and Starlight Kid. Both of them, obviously, high speed division women. Both of them, so fast, so tiny. I absolutely love it. Momo with that release German on Natsupoi looked absolutely rough. Natsupoi is starting to look a little bit like Mayu Iwatani to me. She almost kind of has that reckless disregard for her body.
Yeah, kind of.
She just goes flying. Momo and Starlight Kid working so smoothly together in this match because of how unified Black Desire felt. I really did feel like they had almost an answer for everything that Meltier was throwing at them. I wasn't really sure how this was going to end positively for Meltier because of that unity. But Tam reversing a whip from from Starlight Kid, throwing Starlight Kid into Momo's chair, and then managing to take out Momo and hit the violet screwdriver to pin Starlight Kid. I was shocked. I was pleasantly shocked by the result of that. And man, what a roller coaster ride for this match. Andre, what did you think of this one?
This match went every single way, had power, it had speed, it had in high flying. It just like this was initially going to be my pick for the night, and then I found out Mel didn't watch the last two, and there's a match in the last two that I could not let it me talk about in a little more depth, and so this became Mel's. But this is again, I absolutely love this match. Just the craziness, like with what these girls were doing, it's insanity, man. Like,
I just
again,
oh no, go ahead.
Just Natsupoi's recklessness. Yeah, you're right. She's gonna end up like Mayu with she's gonna be willing to do literally anything. Just with, it's so. She's so smooth though with her in her recklessness. It just looks smooth. It looks almost like effortless, whatever, however the word is said.
Effortless?
That when Natsupoi, effortless, whatever. I'm weird.
It's okay. I'm language police today.
Yeah. Hey, you're messing up too. But it's just, and then Black Desire, man. Like the more I watch, because like I said during the 5-star, I was really, about anybody from Oedo Tai, but these two especially coming out, like we've talked about Ruka and Tura, but these two, man, they're just so good, and this whole team. But like the fact that on night number 6 they still haven't picked up a win is crazy.
It kind of almost makes you think though that it is their kind of first time kind of really teaming together since Momo did just kind of join the team this year.
True.
So I almost feel like maybe they're kind of taking a My Fair Lady kind of route with them in that, because they are a newer team, despite the experience of them, maybe they're trying to show, maybe they're going to be the Cinderella story. You know, maybe they'll pick up
where they are in points.
They'd have to win every single one of them.
They'd have to win all 4 of their matches they have left to even be in contention. And actually, it's not even possible because there's a team where they're sitting that they would tie and lose to technically. So
that's unfortunate. Well,
I think would lose to. I'm not 100% sure.
We can't complain. I mean, they've given us some really amazing matches. The last thing I want to say about them is I actually kind of have like a little bit more love in my heart for Black Desire, because Momo Watanabe is like a spitting image of one of my good friends. So she just kind of, it's like, oh, my good friend is out there kicking butt in Japan.
Yeah, but I'll like absolutely, like, you couldn't ask for a better opening match, I think, for this card. And this card just keeps rolling, as in my opinion. I don't think there was a down match in this entire card, in my opinion, because next up is, again, one of my favorite tag teams, Wingori from Stars, taking on Waka Wild. And dude, again, so much fun. This was a very fun match, I found, overall. Just it got kind of goofy and fun, like it more than intense. It is how I found this match. It was these girls, like with Wingori, they're cute, fun girls in the way they wrestle, the way they do everything. Waka, again, she has a kind of a goofy style. Saka, her wild and crazy, can't come off kind of goofy in certain situations. So it was just a fun match to watch happen. And I had so much fun with it. The piggyback splash, again, I will praise that move over and over again. When Hanan jumps on Saida's back and they fall on their opponent. I'm calling it the piggy. You call that your hanging thing. I'm calling this the piggyback splash. I don't care if we ever find out what it's called. It's forever going to be the piggyback splash.
Hey, I mean, we come up with our custom move names for everything, right? Like, Yoda Suji.
Hey, we can send some of this. We should be sending some of this to Kevin Kelly for if Stardom gets some English commentary, he can give some moves out for it. So
I was just gonna say Yoda Suji. They've always called that splash that he does off of the ropes the Suji splash. Nay, that is not a Suji splash. That looks like a salmon jumping upriver. That is a salmon splash, my friend. Salmon splash.
Yeah. So the end of
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go. You finish. I'm going to get to the end, so you go ahead.
The only thing I wanted to say about this match was number one, the sportsmanship at the beginning was exactly what I wanted to see of two face teams. These are two teams that are the good guys, essentially, or good girls of the company. It was nice to see them shake hands before, because we haven't seen that happen in a lot of matches in a long time. So it was really refreshing. What the double team where Saki used Waka as a battering ram, I absolutely loved it, because it goes back to that mother-daughter kind of thing where Waka's going, "Look at me go," and Saka's going, "Yep, you're going." And then the last thing I wanted to say about this overall was Waka's attitude. I absolutely love it. It's very much almost like a John Cena, never give up, never back down attitude.
Very much.
I absolutely love it about her. It's my favorite thing about her.
Yeah. And then the end of the match came. Hanan hit the bridging backdrop driver on Waka to pick up their Wingori's first point in this tournament.
And like, what an impressive move. Like, Hanan just does it so smoothly, so crisply. Mm-hmm. You can tell how much work she's done on this move. It was a great match. Great way to end it too.
Yeah. Wonderful match. Mm-hmm. So from here, we are going to move on to the Red Goddess, back to the Red Goddess division. And we've got the team of, I think, one of Mel's probably favorite tag teams, Aphrodite of Utami Hayashishita and Saya Kamatani from Queen's Quest, taking on My Fair Ladies, Lady C, and Mai Sakurai from Queen's Quest and Donna Del Mondo, respectively. So a couple of nights before, like was it night 3 or 4, you had Donna Del Mondo's Mafia Bella taking on My Fair Lady, essentially, and they pinned their stablemate in Mai Sakurai. This one came. You had the Aphrodite from Queen's Quest actually pin Lady C from Queen's Quest. So it's just a weird. The end was. Sure, I'll put it, since I just kind of give it away. There was a drop kick into a German suplex by Aphrodite as a double team, and then Saya Kamatani hit the Star Crusher, which is the Fisherman Buster driver, and gets the win on Lady C. But yeah, like the fact that both teams in their respective matches has pinned their stablemate when facing this team is actually kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. And something I actually want to kind of add into that kind of interesting statement is it was interesting how each team responded to the win and loss. After Mafia Bella, took out Mai Sakurai, there was a show of sportsmanship where, both Thekla and Giulia, had their hug with Mai Sakurai.
But even Giulia's was almost reluctant in the way she was like, really like, I don't know if I should hug you, and then hugged her. But it was very different with Queen's Quest.
Yeah, it was almost like a just complete lack of acknowledgement of it, where Tommy and Kamitani were just like, okay, we're good, we're done, moving on.
They hugged her right after the match was over. That's what I was going to say.
Afterwards, it was just kind of dissociation, whereas Mafia Bella, I felt there was more camaraderie. But I do find it interesting because, I feel differently from, like, with Donna Del Mondo, Mai Sakurai has just skyrocketed. Donna Del Mondo was exactly, and everyone in it who she works with, was exactly what Mai Sakurai needed to do what she needed with her career that she was lacking, for example, in Cosmic Angels. With Lady C, Queen's Quest is almost a very, again, like very almost LIJ thing where it's a bunch of individuals all agreeing to work together while still being independent, which is a different flow that I feel from Donna Del Mondo. That being said, I still felt that they were appreciative of the match. And appreciative of Lady C and the experience that they got out of it. I just didn't feel that they showed as much nurturing in the same way that Giulia and Thekla showed Mai Sakurai. That being said, I mean, Queen's Quest is a very, very dominant faction. So everything that they're doing within the company, they're doing 100% correct and right, in my opinion. So this match I felt was a lot of fun. There was one spot where I almost spit out the drink that I was drinking because I wasn't expecting this to happen, and it was just because of the beauty of the camera shot also. And that is where one point, I believe it was Kamatani was attempting a pin. I can't remember if it was on Mai Sakurai or Lady C, but the camera zoomed in on the pin, and then the ref just dropped out from the top of the screen in to do the count. It made me laugh so hard because I didn't even see him coming, and I wasn't expecting him to be there, and then it was just suddenly there. So these are the fun little moments that you have in professional wrestling randomly.
yeah. Honestly, I thought really great match overall, and just showing how good Aphrodite is, because this was their first match of the evening.
Correct.
So after this match, there was a tag team match between Mafia Bella and I can't remember who they were facing. So they were, and it was a team from the blue block. So it wasn't a tournament match. It was essentially a red block versus blue block match. And then there was a triple threat tag. And then when we return for the triple threat tag, this graphic isn't going to change much except for the team on the right. You got Aphrodite against Peach Rock. This is, I was saying earlier, this is an annoyance for me. I like the story they were telling with the interviews before the matches and stuff.
Okay.
But the fact is, you could have put this match in the first couple nights of this tournament. The fact is, Aphrodite didn't wrestle till I think it was like night 3. They didn't wrestle their first match, and Peach Rock didn't wrestle their first match until night 5. So I don't think they could have done it on night. Oh, that's right.
Light bulb.
Oh, when was Rumble? I know why they didn't do it in the first 2 nights, because of Rumble on 28th Street, and Mayu Iwatani was over there defending the.
Was in the U.S. Gotcha.
But again, they could have done it on the November whichever show was. I can't remember if it was the 5th or 6th. One of those 2 shows is when you could have done Aphrodite and Peach Rock, because Aphrodite wrestled on one of those 2 shows.
Okay.
But then didn't wrestle the next one, I think, because they wrestled on November 13th and then wrestled twice here. So, and they're at 4 matches now.
Maya wrestled. She wasn't wrestling with Momo in that one. I believe she was teaming with somebody else in Stars.
Yeah, so you could have had somebody on by night 3 or 4.
I wonder if there was an issue with Momo that night.
It could have been, or maybe just Maya wasn't back yet. I don't know what it is, but it forced them Aphrodite into a second match of the evening, which, again, I'm not against. It's just I feel bad for the girls because they have to work twice in one night. And that's a lot of work, especially after Saya having that intense match with me and Shirakawa just recently. Same with Utami Hayashishita with Natsuki Tora. Having to do 2 in one night, especially after wrestling the night before on top of it all, it can be a tough night. But overall, this was a really good match, and this is where I thought Momo looked really good in this. Because they were telling the story early on. Saya and Utami kept frequently tagging out, and one would tag in, pick up Momo, and scoop slammer. Then they would tag out, the other one come in, pick up Momo, and scoop slammer. And they kept doing it a few times. But then as they started going, you saw Momo and Mayu started to pick it up and really took advantage of Aphrodite in that situation. And it took advantage of how tired they were and really started to dominate. It was a beautiful 619 for Momo at one point. There was a great spot where Momo went for her tornado DDT off the ropes.
Okay.
And Utami caught her and like turned it into an air raid crash. The way she did it, I was very impressed by the way she turned it into that. I was like, oh, because she was kind of up on her and then like kind of dropped her on her back and kept spinning and fell into the air raid crash. I thought it looked really, really good. Awesome. But yeah, just great stuff from all these girls. But in the end, Aphrodite hit the tribute to Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, the Magic Killer.
I don't know what this Doc Gallows is. It got dropped somewhere in Mariana's Trench.
Followed by the bridging German suplex by Utami Hayashishita to Momo Kogo, and Utami pins Momo to get the win in the match. But I thought it was a great match, and yeah, you have Aphrodite now going 4-0 and like on top of the Red Goddess division. So again, big shout out to them. Like huge shout out.
I mean, do we expect any less from two women who made the top 20 of
I really don't. I really don't. They're absolutely phenomenal.
This is why I'm just going to go on record to say it. Utami Hayashishita is, I think, by far my favorite and most effective female wrestler on the scene right now. She's just utterly incredible.
Oh yeah, you could put her in there with anybody, and she absolutely rocks it. Simple 100%. As that. Yeah. But we're going to move on to the main event of that evening, and it is in the Blue Goddess division. It is Mai Himeka and Maika from Donna Demona taking on BMI 2000, Natsuko Tora, and Natsuraka from Oedo Tai. And again, like this, I had this as my pick, but I wanted to go in depth in the last match because Mel didn't get to see it, and I'm going to go in depth on this one because again, one of Mel's favorite tag teams, BMI, she missed their match. I don't understand how, but
and Maika, I mean, I've got a personal girl crush on Maika. I'm not going to miss anything she does.
The lady samurai is about to team up with the man samurai over on or who have teamed up on Hasor crossover. If you're watching this on Wednesday, but it will happen across 2 days.
Aces versus the samurais.
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. This match is where like BMI showed power again. Like as big as Himeka is, BMI showed power to be able to power Himeka and then power Maika too. Not to give anything, take anything from Maika, who's insanely powerful also, but BMI still showed their power dominance even in this match. It was just kind of insane the power they show. It's impressive, but like just like the speed too coming out of BMI 2000 is kind of incredible. Like, and I get nothing to shame them. I'm a big person myself. These girls aren't that big, as big as me, but they're bigger girls. In both Raka and Tora, right? So the fact they're deceptive, like a Samoa Joe, again, a big man, but moves insanely quickly. These girls are bigger girls, but have incredible speed, especially when they're running, do the running sentons and the cannonball by Tora into the corner. Like there was a beauty spot where actually it was Himeka was like leaning on the bottom ropes, like in the middle, and Tora hit a cannonball into her, and then Raka came right after with a running cross body into her on the ropes.
Say, she loves those running cross bodies on that bottom rope.
I just love that they went back to back with it. It was really cool to see.
You have to against someone like Himeka.
Oh, yeah, very much so. But then like the power from Himeka was really strong. She hit that beautiful stacked power bomb. Like she got. Like again, got her on the ropes and then picked her up and just smashed her down and stacked her up. Only getting a 2 for it, but like, yeah, and she did to Raka. But dang, man, Raka got a rainmaker at one point. Like I was after the stack bomb, she got up, hit a rainmaker, and then like just went for her corner to tag in Natsuko Tora, and Tora came off the top with the frog splash to Himeka, but only got a 2 there. But it was just that. Getting the Rainmaker and getting her tag team partner in to do the frog splash was actually really, really nice. But yeah, like just the power from all these women. but this was one of those ones where like Himeka was in a majority of the match and was like she did fight a majority of this match. Micah was in there a bit, but yeah, Himeka was like she's the one getting beat down majority of the match or fighting back majority of this match. But yeah, like I absolutely phenomenal. The finish again. It's that finish that BMI has been just dominating everybody with the tree slamming FU, and then the splash, and then the swanton.
Mm-hmm.
It has been effective at every time they have hit it, and they hit it again, and BMI wins again. BMI 2000 with another power victory, man. Like it's crazy. It just. You have two power teams here, and the fact that BMI just was able to dominate overpower with their power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
incredible to hear.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. So as we go into, I'm going to bring this up so everybody can see it. I know it's a little bit blocked by there's QR code in the bottom right corner, but for the Red Goddess division, we have Aphrodite on top, 8 points, 4 wins, no losses. So, and then you have Mafia Bella right behind, 6 points. You have Meltier with 4, Karate Brave with 3, Peach Rock with 2, We Love Tokyo Sports with 2, Black Desire with 1, and My Fair Lady with 0. In my personal opinion, I would say My Fair Lady, already having 4 losses, has no shot at this. Black Desire, who has 2 losses and a draw, would have to win all 4 matches to get 9 points, but would have to have Aphrodite lose everything else. So I think, to me personally, they are mathematically eliminated. Mm-hmm. We Love Tokyo Sports has already wrestled 3 matches, has 2 points. I don't think they can take it. And Peach Rock is the one team with 2 that I think can, because they've only wrestled 2 matches so far. So they do have, I think, 5 more matches to go. So there's a possibility there. But like, I think this is coming down to either going to be Meltier, Aphrodite, or Mafia Bella. I really think it's one of those 3 teams. Like,
I have to agree.
Yeah, it looks, that's what it looks, and I think Aphrodite
you know
has
what my vote is for, sir.
Aphrodite, right? Yeah. Yeah, and I honestly could see them coming out of the Red Goddess division as the winners of this division to go to the finals. So
now, that being said, could you imagine the showdown if Aphrodite takes Red Goddess and then BMI takes Blue Goddess? After seeing the showdown between Natsuko Tora and Utami Hayashishita, oh my goodness, would that be an incredible match? But then pairing up Ruaka against Saya Kamitani, could we see another potential contender coming out of there for the Wonder of Stardom Championship?
It's very possible. It's very possible. But as we go through we talk about the blue division. On top with 8 points, 4 wins, 1 loss, you have BMI 2000. The number 2 is Miami with 4 points, 2 wins, 1 loss. FWC, 4 points, 2 wins, 2 losses. I think they're out because of where they are. And how dominant BMI is, I don't think they can get there. I really don't.
They would have
7 Up, on the other hand, who we haven't talked about in a couple they haven't been on a couple shows now. They've only had 2 matches. They have 3 points, 1 win, 1 draw. They have they still have a good shot if they can get to put together some wins, which they could easily do, and be up there with BMI at a shot of winning this block. It is very possible. And then you have New Eras with 3. There's a chance for them. Wingori with 2. To me, mathematically eliminated. Waka Wild with 2. Again, mathematically eliminated. And O2 Line with 2. I think they're eliminated too, because each one of those teams has 3 losses and 1 win. They have 3 more matches, but I don't think they'll be able to put it together properly to be able to overtake BMI 2000, or they've already lost. So I don't think they can get there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that block, it's going to come down to either BMI 2000 or 7 Up, in my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm. We would have to see how some of these mathematically eliminated people kind of end up
how they place
making a
what
decision. Yeah, they could make someone like BMI 2000 or 7-Up take some losses, or even just not earn as many points as they could have. And we see you have some tantrums again. and
when BMI 2000 faces off with 7-Up, that is possibly going to decide who wins this block. It very is possible, depending on how 7-Up versus 7-Up's tournament goes. If BMI 2000, if they have a match maybe on the next show, and then BMI takes it, I think they've solidified, even with 7-Up winning a bunch of matches. But if 7-Up wins earlier over them, then it comes down to what the other teams do. So there's, you never know. And then my Hemi could come out of nowhere and just make a run the rest of the table. You never know. So I think it's between, and then FWC, I do think they're out because they only have 3 matches left and they're only at 4 points. So it's going to be tough for them to get that win. It's possible, but it'd be very tough. They need BMI to lose everything, I think, but we will see.
No, the match I'm actually looking forward to seeing is actually Black Desire and We Love Tokyo Sports. Got 2 Oedo Tai factions, and if both of them are sort of kind of pretty much mathematically eliminated, will we get a match, or will we simply get
goofiness,
some House of Torture mess on us and just being like, we're just gonna stand here and I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that match goes in the future, to be honest.
We never know, but man, I am looking forward to everything coming forward with the rest of this Goddess tournament. I'm excited because there's so much more, and there's other shows from I guess it's happening tomorrow for us. There's a triple threat, a 6-man tag tournament. There's Utami Hayashishita taking on Suri for the world belt. There is Kairi versus Saya fighting for the Wonder Belt. So as you're watching us talk about this right now, that was 4 days ago. There's just so much going on with Stardom, and there's so much great to watch. Where can they find it, Mel?
Where can you find Stardom? Well, you can find Stardom on their website at www.stardom.com. We will leave the link in the description box.
Stardom World, sorry.
I always get confused with NJPW that doesn't have the world or does have the world. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does. I don't know. Sometimes I just click on the link and it takes me where
the link will be on the bottom. The link will be underneath.
That's why I say the link will be in the description box below. It is 920 yen or $10 Canadian, approximately, depending on what your currency is and where you are. You can also watch the NJPW historic crossover show at the NJPW world.com, which we will also leave in the description box below. It's going to feature some amazing Stardom wrestlers this weekend. Andre and I are going to be doing a live watch along, which will already have happened once we put this bad boy online.
But you can watch it and then put our watch along on YouTube, and it'll be up on our YouTube.
Watch along with it.
You can do that, and it'll be a great time. It'll include the pre-show too, so please check it out. But
and while
also,
you're doing that, you can also check out the TV title championship matches for free before deciding to subscribe. But after those TV title matches, you're gonna want to.
Definitely. But I also want to give a big shout out to Rogue Energy for being a wonderful sponsor here for us and OLE Pods. You can check them out on by scanning the QR code in the bottom right corner. Use the code OLE Pods. You get 10% off your order. And right here, I've got my as I call it, the Mina Shaker Kawa special, as I like to call it. You can order that on Rogue Energy and much, much more. They have the cans of energy drinks now that you can order in the single individual can. So there's so much wonderful stuff on there. Please check them out. You can find myself on Twitter at That Canada Guy, on Instagram at That Canada Dude. You can find our good buddy Mike the Ref over on YouTube at Backbreaker Video. You can find him on Twitch. I want to thank him so much for hosting this show, because you might be watching him on that channel right now. So if you are, thank you. And And if you're not, please go check out Backbreaker Video. Lots of great wrestling content from us. You have all his great video game content, his watch-alongs of the AEW shows. Please check that out. You can watch along with him live on twitch.tv/Mike the Ref every Wednesday to watch that watch along. He's on there constantly playing video games. And also he has his jack.org fundraiser going to raise money for jack.org to help people who have trouble accessing situations for problems in their lives and getting proper mental health therapy, things like that for young people, young adults. Please support that. So please go to jack.org. The link will be included in the bio of this video. You can support him. His charity stream or charity event is going to the end of November. So please, if you can donate even $1, it'll help. He did meet his $1,000 goal, so he has upped it to $2,000. We want to try and get there. So please, if you guys can help support that, that'd be wonderful. And I also want to give one more shout out to OLE Pods, who are been a great partner for us, allowing us to do all the live streams that you've hopefully gotten to see so far, and the ones that are coming in the next little while. You can find them on Twitch at twitch.tv/our local establishment, and you can find them on Instagram at our OLE podcast. So I think,
all the descriptions for all of those guys will also be in the description box down below, as well as Mike's jack.org link to donate. If you're looking to follow a Melball, you can find me on Twitter at Collins Melball. You can find me on Instagram at Melball Collins. You can also find both Andre and myself on Facebook. You can find me under Melball Collins. You can also find Andre under Andre Como. And we also have our Facebook fan page, which is Andre and Melball's Wrestling Talk. Come be a part of the conversation. We are posting stuff regularly all the time. Come chat with us, and then come see all of our links for all of our videos, our shorts, and just see what we're talking about. And that being said, I think we've come to the end of this Stardom review. That is your Andre. I am the Melball. We will see you next time. Adios.